All right, you want to quickly talk about Newcastle, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted to just give them,
I kind of swept the fact that they're the fourth in the league.
Yeah.
Didn't give them a good mention, did I?
Amazing, really. And I think the fact that Eddie Howe got a longer-term contract, I think people thought he was going to be a stopgap.
Yep.
And a lot of people, when they had the takeover, were talking about, Messi coming in, Neymar, Mbappe, all these players. But, the players they have brought in have been amazing. Trippier, brilliant. Yeah. Their backline last week against Tottenham, Botman, Shah, Guimaraes, unbelievable. The signings they've made. And I was thinking as well, I was going to ask you, Addy, do you think in the transfer window, potentially, they're in the top four now, do they buy bigger players so that they could get in that top four? Because I feel like the squad they have, they don't really have that right to be in the top four yet. But the amazing job that Eddie Howe's doing and the players that are playing for him, I feel like they could already make it in the Champions League with these players that they have.
Yeah, I agree. And it's more about, so everyone seems to be singing from the same hymn sheet when you look at that squad as well. I was looking
Almiron.
Wow. Your boy Jack Grealish caused this.
No, I love Jack Grealish.
He caused this, didn't he, with Almiron? But you remember that game when they beat Spurs, all the players on the pitch, it's like they knew how big a game that was. That was almost like this pivotal moment of, we deserve to be here. And let's not forget as well, their record signing, Alexander Isak's not even fit. He's not there. He's not even playing yet. So when he gets on the pitch, maybe
and
Joe
Linton as well, coming like Yaya Toure, box to box, everywhere,
big, strong,
converting his position, Eddie Howe.
Honestly, so far so good for Newcastle. And I wouldn't be, look, it would be an overachievement if they make top four. It would be. I kind of had them just in and around sort of the Europa League positions. But if they make top four, what a job Eddie Howe has done. And to answer your question, I do think if come January they're there, they go big. I think you go big and you try and secure top four, bringing in a couple of big quality players. All right, a couple of other big games on Saturday as well. Bournemouth take on Spurs. We know Spurs are wobbling at the moment. I know they're third in the league, but the fact is they've lost two of their last Premier League games. Obviously, we saw what happened against Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. Bournemouth are doing okay, I think it's fair to say, under Gary O'Neill. This is almost a game where Spurs have to win this one. Well, people are really going to start saying, well, what's going on? Is Conte's kind of fantastic football style really not working with this Spurs team?
It's difficult because I think they overachieved. Conte's only been in the job for 10 months and Tottenham were nowhere near the Champions League spot. So, I know they feel hard done by that goal the other day that was disallowed in the last minute, but I don't think the Spurs fans are happy with the performances. And similarly to when Jose Mourinho went there and they were winning, the games, but they wasn't playing very well, I feel like it's quite similar under Conte. The players he brought in, Kulusevski, Bentancur, players he knew from Juventus, made sense. But I think to a certain degree they overachieved by getting into the Champions League based upon the fact that Arsenal, threw it away in the end. But to be fair, I don't think, with Conte, we know he doesn't stay at teams for that long. Yeah. So I feel like, always people talk about the first season he goes to a club. It's always the second season. There's always some sort of an issue. Problem. So, and I think that they have to take a look at that. But I think for Spurs, they're not in a bad spot. But obviously, off the back of against Manchester United, though, they were poor. I mean, I'm a Man United fan, and I know everyone was talking about how great we were that day. Okay, but I think Tottenham were also, it's a double-edged sword, really. Did Man United play that great, or did Spurs play badly? I felt like it was a mixture of both. I don't think Spurs turned up on that day or played well. And against Sporting, they didn't win. So it's not like a crisis. But at the same time, I just don't think the performances have been that good. Yeah, I mean, look, they've got two world-class players, undoubtedly. One's firing right now in Harry Kane. He gives you everything every single season. Son, what's happened to Son? I mean, people talk about Mo Salah and obviously Son and the drop-off in form. Salah's starting to pick it up again, but Son's just got 3 Premier League goals, and they came in one game, didn't they, against Leicester? What's going on with Son? Is it just a blip? I think it happens. I mean, for me, it's similar. It reminds me of Salah because I put him in my top 3 for the Ballon d'Or this year with Kevin De Bruyne as well and Benzema coming first. That was my choice. For who, Son or Salah? Salah. For Salah. Okay, yeah. And what I'm saying, the point I'm making is that every player goes through a dip in form. It doesn't make them a bad player. It happens. To play at that level, I think we've been very spoiled over the years because we've had players like Messi and Ronaldo that seem to bring in the assists and the goals on a consistent basis. But these guys are like superhuman to a certain degree. So there will be a time where, but other players need to step up. I think Richarlison's done well since he's been injured lately. Kulusevski, I think, done way better than I think a lot of Spurs fans expected him to do because at Juventus, he didn't really play that much, similar to Bentancur. I think they've been good signings. So, they're in a decent spot. But for me, Son, he's not been at his best, but someone else needs to step up as well.